NOLA Bible Stories.
Hi friends, welcome back to the second part of Moses' story. This part of the story can be found in Exodus chapter 5 to chapter 12. Many years had passed since Moses had stood before the burning bush on Mount Horeb. God had called him to a great mission to go back to Egypt and rescue the Israelites, God's chosen people, from slavery. Though Moses was nervous, God promised, "I will be with you." So, with his brother Aaron by his side, Moses set out on the journey back to the land he had fled back to Egypt. When Moses and Aaron arrived in Egypt, they went straight to Pharaoh's grand palace. Pharaoh sat on a golden throne surrounded by guards, with tall columns and banners waving in the air. Moses and Aaron stood before him and said, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says, 'Let my people go, so that they may hold a festival to me in the wilderness.'" Pharaoh frowned. "Who is the Lord that I should obey him?" he scoffed. "I do not know this Lord, and I will not let Israel go." Instead of letting the people go, Pharaoh made their lives even harder. He forced them to make bricks without straw, but still expected the same number every day. The Israelites cried out in pain, and Moses prayed to God. God said, "I will show Pharaoh my power. Soon he will know who I am." The 10 plagues began. So began a series of signs and wonders, 10 mighty plagues sent by God to show his power and convince Pharaoh to set his people free. Moses stood by the Nile River. He raised his staff and struck the water, just as God commanded. The river turned deep red like blood. Fish died and the river smelled terrible. Even water in jars and buckets turned to blood. But Pharaoh's heart was hard. He refused to let the people go. Next, frogs hopped everywhere in kitchens, bedrooms, ovens, and even Pharaoh's bed. Pharaoh begged, "Ask your God to take them away." Moses prayed and the frogs died. But when Pharaoh saw the frogs were gone, he hardened his heart again. Moses struck the dust with his staff and tiny gnats flew up, biting people and animals. Even Pharaoh's magicians said, "This is the finger of God." Still, Pharaoh would not listen. Swarming flies filled Pharaoh's palace, homes, and the whole land, but not a single fly entered the homes of the Israelites. God was protecting his people. Pharaoh said the people could go, but then changed his mind again. God sent sickness to all the Egyptians' animals, cows, horses, sheep, and donkeys. They became sick and died, but none of the Israelites' animals were harmed. Still, Pharaoh's heart was stubborn. God told Moses to toss ashes into the air. As the ashes spread, painful sores and boils broke out on people and animals throughout Egypt. Yet Pharaoh refused to let the people go. Moses lifted his staff to the sky. Suddenly, thunder roared and lightning flashed. Huge balls of hail crashed down, smashing trees, animals, and crops. But again, the land of Goshen, where the Israelites lived, was safe. Pharaoh begged again for it to stop, then changed his mind. God sent a wind that blew in clouds of hungry locusts. They ate every plant and leaf in Egypt, even what was left after the hail. The people were starving. Pharaoh begged for help, and God sent the locusts away, but Pharaoh would not change. A deep darkness covered Egypt for 3 whole days. People couldn't see each other or even move from their spots, but in the homes of the Israelites there was light. Still, Pharaoh's heart remained hard. Then God said to Moses, I will bring one more plague. After this, Pharaoh will let you go. Moses warned Pharaoh, At midnight the Lord will pass through Egypt. Every firstborn son from Pharaoh's own son to the son of a prisoner will die, but not one of the Israelites will be harmed. Pharaoh was furious. He shouted, Leave me, I never want to see your face again. Moses replied, You are right, you will not see me again. The first Passover, God told Moses to prepare the Israelites. Each family was to take a perfect lamb, 1 year old, and sacrifice it. They were to spread its blood on the door frames of their homes. Then they would roast the lamb and eat it with bread and bitter herbs. God said, When I see the blood, I will pass over your home. No destruction will come near you. That night the Israelites obeyed. They stayed inside and waited. At midnight the angel of the Lord moved through Egypt. And just as God had said, the firstborn son in every Egyptian house died, even Pharaoh's own son. At last, Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron during the night. Go, he cried, take your people and leave Egypt. Take your flocks, your families, and your God, just go. The Israelites packed quickly. They took gold, silver, and supplies from the Egyptians, who gave them gifts in fear. There were thousands of people, men, women, children, and animals. They had been slaves for hundreds of years, but now they were free. And so began the great journey, the Exodus, just as God had promised. Moses led the people into the wilderness, toward the land God would give them. God had shown his mighty power. He had protected his people, and now he was leading them to freedom. But their journey was just beginning. Watch out for the third part of the story, the Red Sea miracle.